Welcome to the King's Cast, the live show where we cover the latest Bethesda news. You can find us every Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Central right here at the King's Corner. The King's Corner. It's the place for all things Bethesda. If you love Fallout, The Elder Scrolls, and Starfield, and you haven't subscribed yet to the KingFanMan channel, hit that subscribe button for the latest in Bethesda news, tips, lore, live stream, podcast, and so much more. Now, here's your host. He's not a fanboy. He is the KingFanMan.
Welcome back to the King's Corner, the place for all things Bethesda. I am the KingFanMan, and this is the KingCast, the longest-running live podcast covering the latest Bethesda news. How is everybody today on this Saturday? Thank you for spending just a little bit of your weekend right here in the King's Corner. We have a lot to cover today. Today, our main subject is going to be about the major changes that are happening right now, not only inside of Bethesda, but in all of gaming, and how that is going to affect The Elder Scrolls 6 and Fallout 5. And we've had some comments from Asha Sharma, of course, the new CEO at Xbox, talking about this subject, and we're going to get into that in a deep dive. We're also going to probably do the most thorough deep dive of what is going on with The Elder Scrolls 6, according to not leaks, but confirmed things that we know, to see where the game is and when we might be getting it. And we're also going to look a little bit deeper into those multiple Fallout projects that are going on right now, and an update on the Xbox Bethesda Showcase coming up next month. So that's a lot, but we've even got more than that. And of course, we're always taking your comments and your questions because we are a subscriber-driven podcast. So thank you again for being here. Thank you to my members and my Patreons. Y'all keep the lights on. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And please, please, please remember the Super Chat today. If you can, I would love and sure appreciate any support that we can get. Well, as you can see, the Queen is not with me today. I'm all alone, but that's all right. That means more news today. I know the Queen's probably watching, so hi, Queen. Queen is actually on a business trip of her own today, so I'm missing her. I'm batching it here in the King's Corner for several days, so I do miss her, and I'm ready for her to get home. She's going to get home tomorrow, so y'all pray for her safe travel back home. But let's jump right into gaming. Hey, everybody, thank y'all for jumping in. Y'all light up that chat. We'll be talking a lot today. And again, bring me your questions and comments. I'll be watching a little bit extra close today since it's only me here. Guitar and Gaming, what's going on? Mustafarahim, did I say that right? And TV Casualty, good to see y'all. Thank y'all. I know y'all are not the only ones here, but y'all are the ones in the chat right now. Okay, let's talk about how games and the gaming industry is changing, and Bethesda is literally one of the studios that's leading in this, and you've probably already seen it. Todd Howard said not too long ago, when talking about the Elder Scrolls 6, that they are making the Elder Scrolls 6 to be played for a decade, if not more. Now, that is obviously a new philosophy for Bethesda. But, of course, looking back on Skyrim, it's still being played. Fallout 4 is still being played. Heck, Fallout 3 is still being played. Fallout New Vegas is still being played. Oblivion's still being played. Going back to Morrowind still has players. It's being played and modded. When Starfield came out, Todd Howard said that they were going to support Starfield for 10 years, maybe more. So again, that decade, that 10 years, they're really focusing on. Well, Asha Sharma, and by the way, I need to give Juicehead some credit because he again broke this. I just missed it in the We Are the Xbox memo. Asha Sharma mentioned, and I'm mispronouncing her name a little bit. Y'all forgive me, it's my country accent. Asha Sharma. I have to slow down to pronounce it right. She mentioned the Elder Scrolls specifically And she only mentioned 3 games. So this is really major, and we're going to get into how major this is. But, of course, when she took over as the CEO, she mentioned the Elder Scrolls. She mentioned Fallout. But in this memo that was dated April the 23rd, 2026, she said this, that they want to elevate creator-centric platforms like Minecraft, the Elder Scrolls, and Sea of Thieves. Now, this is huge in several ways, and I think I'm going to bring some things out that Juicehead didn't, but this is major, and I do recommend y'all go watch Juicehead's latest video because it was really good. But what is creator-centric platforms? Well, this is talking about the long-term, community-driven ecosystems. This is talking about modding or paid mods. Well, as you know, Bethesda has been leading on this. There are very few games out there and very few studios that do as much with modding as Bethesda does. But I don't think we realize how much this is going to change things, some for the better and some for the worse. And I'm going to give you good news and bad news today, okay? So, but first, I want y'all to think of this. The Elder Scrolls 6 will be the first new game by Bethesda that this will be a main focus. Starfield was you've seen it progress. Fallout 4 was the first one with console mods. And then, Starfield, they made sure and got them out quicker. Well, the Elder Scrolls 6, they are going to have it where the creation kit, and by the way, it's not the old creation kit, this is important, but for modders to be able to mod, it's going to be on day 1 for the Elder Scrolls 6, where in older games, the creation kit would come out a few months after the release of the game. The Elder Scrolls is being built. In fact, guys, this is one of the main reasons. It's just dawned on me this week when doing the research for this. This was one of the main reasons for the Creation 3 upgrade. Yes, it's going to enhance the game. Yes, some other things. But one of the technologies that they needed and that Todd has been working toward is having mods on day 1. And we're talking about creation mods, DLC size creation mods that are going to be coming out with it. Now, I told you before that, and I really want to get y'all's opinion today as well. Do y'all think this is a good thing or a bad thing? Again, there are going to be good things that come through this, and there are going to be bad things that come through this. One of the bad things that I see coming through this is, will there be as much of a push for new content from Bethesda themselves? Because right now, and we've been talking about it for a while, but Bethesda is going to be on PC, on PlayStation. Hey, Psycho. I don't know. We'll talk about exclusives in just a minute. People are divided on whether they're going back exclusive or not. And I'm kind of 50-50. I honestly don't know what they're going to do. If I had to guess, I would say a timed exclusive on the Elder Scrolls. I don't think they're going to keep it away, but I also don't think they're going to wait 2 years like they did for Starfield either. But with that said, Bethesda right now are working with creators. I talked about this some last week. They are literally hiring other creators to do DLC work that they have ideas on. So instead of Bethesda doing the DLC, they're hiring Kingath to do it, which is what we're about to get with Fallout 4. You think about Starfield. How many DLCs did Fallout 4 have? Wasn't it 6 DLCs? Now, I know all of them wasn't. They were 3 mainline DLCs. But they had 3, if you want to just count the Automatron, Nuka World, and the other one. My mind slipped me there. But the 3 mainline was Far Harbor. How many has Starfield had? And by the way, Fallout 4 got all 6 of those. All 6 of those in 1 year. The year after the game came down. Warren Royal, thank you so much for the super chat. Bless your heart, the $10 super chat. I want you to notice the Royal Baubles is right here. My Royal Baubles that Warren got me is right here. Queens is off to the side since she's not here today. And Warren, there is no Walter here today. Now, Walter still has his words back there, but we're waiting on that Elvis one that has some words so we can replace him completely. But thank you so much. And I want to remind y'all again, Royal Baubles is not a sponsor, but we just love Warren to death and love his bobbleheads as well. So if you want a bobblehead, they have Fallout TV show bobbleheads. They have everything you can think of. You can even get a personalized one just like this one here. Then look up Royal Baubles and check them out. Thank you so much for the super chat. Oh man, there's another one. A $20 super chat. Bless your heart. It says, I'm usually a part of the replay gang, but happy to support for once. Bless your heart. And it's goodness, y'all get hard names to pronounce. Unicyclopeon? I don't know. I did terrible on that one. I'm sorry. I know that's not your name, but $20 super chat. Bless your heart. Thank y'all so much for the support. You don't know how much it means. I appreciate that so much. Both of you guys. Unicyclopeon. I don't know. I'm terrible at pronouncing things. Back to what we was talking about at the DLCs. Did you realize Starfield has only had 2 DLCs, or really 1.5 DLC, and the second DLC, this Terran Armada, came out 2 years after the game came out. So I think one of the bad things about having these games as storefronts, if you will, are games as a service. And if you think about it, all of Bethesda's games, okay, he's going to pronounce it for me. Thank you. It's Unicyclopeon. Peon? Not peon. Oh gosh. Peon. How's that? I was the lowest skill unicycler. So it is peon. It's Unicyclopeon. Okay, I didn't want to say peon. Thank you for that. I was the lowest skill unicycler in my friend group back in the day, hence the nickname. I love it. That's what I was trying to stay away from, is why I was having trouble pronouncing it. I was like, I know that's peon, but I don't think it's peon. Thank you so much. Oh, I love it. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. So Bethesda has really switched to a service game. I mean, you think about it. Fallout 4, they're putting out new DLCs for Fallout 4. In my last episode, the KingCast, we talked about that I believe Fallout 4 is going to be in the Xbox Showcase, giving us a free DLC. A free DLC from Fallout 4. How many years later? What was that? 2015. So it's 11 years after the game. As Todd said, he wants to support them at least 10 years. Well, you can see they're still supporting Fallout 4 now. So they're really moving that direction. But what is changing now with the Elder Scrolls 6 going to be starting this way? How is that going to affect Bethesda putting out content for these games? I think they're going to rely a lot more on creators for DLC anyway. We've already seen that with Starfield. But will that free Bethesda up to get their games out quicker? What do you think? I don't know. I hope so. Now, quickly, we're going to talk a little bit more about this. We're going to talk about more about that Creation 3 upgrade in just a minute. Remember, the Creation 3 upgrade, Todd said he needed this technology for what they were wanting to do with The Elder Scrolls 6. And he's been talking about that since 2017, maybe even back to 2015, he's been talking about it in interviews about needing this technology. Well, one of the things is what I believe's in the game, but one of them is exactly what they've done here. And they've been moving this direction all along, is to bring modding up. You know, they've tried several times to introduce paid mods. They tried Creation Club first. That was in 2017, I believe, when Creation Club came out, and it went over like a lead balloon. And this next way they did it, now the new creations, it's gone over a little bit better. And I think everybody's understanding more what they want to do with it. But we're going to talk about some of the technology that they upgraded with the Creation 3, not only for the game, but also for this storefront. Okay, I want right now, because I don't want to bury some of the most important stuff. I want to look at time-wise where the Elder Scrolls is right now and when we might see it. Because, of course, you know the Xbox Showcase is coming up. Is there any possibility that we could see it right now? I think y'all are going to be surprised where the Elder Scrolls 6 might be right now. I think you're going to be shocked. I know some people, no, it's 2028, it's 2029, it's 2031. I've seen all kinds of things in my comments, and I understand the frustration. But listen to a few of these things. Number one, in 2024, now I'm going to go back before that, but just bear with me on this. In 2024, it was the 30th anniversary of the Elder Scrolls. And BGS revealed at that time in 2024, that's 2 years ago, guys. 2 years ago. And I agree with y'all, by the way. I do think it's next year as well. BGS revealed in 2024 that they were already playing early builds of the game. Okay? That was 2 years ago. That's great news when you think about it. They were already playing early builds of the game. In 2022, this is before Starfield is released, okay? So 2 years before that, I want to show y'all how long they've been. Some people say, oh, they didn't start working on it until 2024. That's absolutely false. They were already playing early builds in 2024. Pete Hines said in 2023, by the way, in August of 2023, that Elder Scrolls 6 was in full development. That's before Starfield was released. He said, now at this point right now, most people are focused on Starfield because it's about to come out, but it was in full development in August of 2023. But let's go back even a year before that, 2022. Todd Howard, and I referenced this interview in the Bethesda Brothers podcast this week, but the Rex Friedman, I couldn't remember his name, but now I do. Todd was talking about the Elder Scrolls 6 in the Rex Friedman podcast. And this is what he said at that time. Lex Friedman. See, I got it wrong. Even I thought I had it right, and it was wrong. Anyway, Todd said they've already got the music done. They've already got the setting done, the tone of the thing done, a lot of the features done, and even the beginning of the game was done. This was in 2022, and he said, well, Lex asked him, what do you mean by the beginning of the game? And he says the first few hours of the game. So this was all done in pre-development. If y'all wonder what goes on in pre-development, they already had the music done and several hours of the game, the first hours of the game, the beginning of the game done. So that then you jump to that 2024 statement where BGS revealed that they're already playing early builds of the game. You can understand because it was 2 years after that. Well, guys, we are now 2 years past them playing early builds of the game. We know as of last year, or was it earlier this year, they were having 3-hour play tests, okay? In June of last year, it was revealed that there was an internal trailer of The Elder Scrolls 6 going on inside of BGS. That's why everybody thought it might be at the showcase last year. So I say all that to say The Elder Scrolls is much further along than everybody gives it credit for. These people that are saying 2028, 2029, there is no way. Do I believe it's probably going to be delayed? I hate to use that word. Do you think they're going to wait and release it in 2027? I do, for several reasons, and I've told y'all them in the past. One, you have a new Xbox coming out. Two, it's not the year that a big Rockstar game comes out. That's another reason. There's several reasons why next year is just the perfect time for The Elder Scrolls 6. 11/11/2027. I like that one. That's great. And I miss Pete too. By the way, they are hiring a new Pete Hines, by the way, right now. So they're looking for him anyway. They haven't announced it yet. So with all that said, do I believe there could be a cinematic trailer for The Elder Scrolls 6 this year? There absolutely could. There's a good chance. The trailer's already done, okay? It was done last year. I believe now if Todd Howard has his wish, they won't say anything about it until the year it comes out. However, Microsoft is the one calling the shots these days. So there is a real possibility that we could get a trailer for The Elder Scrolls 6 this year at the Xbox Showcase. There's actually a real chance that we could get the game this year. Do I think that is probable? No. Because of that Rockstar game and because of the new Xbox that is coming out next year. Again, 2027 is just the perfect time for The Elder Scrolls 6 to come out. But I want y'all to know, I believe the game is getting very, very close to done. I believe they are in that final glue stage, as we call it. Red Wolf Renegade, what's going on, man? He says, sorry I missed you in West Virginia. I've been so busy traveling for work. Hope you're doing well. I am, man. Thank you for stopping by today. I appreciate it very, very, very much. So, Elder Scrolls, very, very close. But let's go back to the subject we were talking about first. The Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be different than any game that Bethesda's ever put out. It's going to be handled different. And again, hey, Pharaoh. And again, this was one of the main reasons for the Creation 3 upgrade. Again, it just hit me like a freight train this week when I realized, the Creation 3 upgrade was to get ready for these creations on day one. These big creations. You look at what's going on with Fallout 4. They are still trying to get the mod storage increase for Fallout 4. They don't want to get into those problems with the Elder Scrolls 6. Again, I want y'all to think about this, guys. Asha Sharma said the Elder Scrolls and only mentioned 2 other games. Now, just use logical thinking here. Okay, that's all I'm doing. I'm not an insider. I'm using logical thinking. She used Minecraft, she used the Elder Scrolls, and she used Sea of Thieves. If the Elder Scrolls was not super close, she would have not said the Elder Scrolls. They're working right now on Fallout mods, creations. Bethesda has, as you know, rehired the original Nate and Nora to do voice acting for a new DLC that's coming very soon, should be revealed at the showcase. If the Elder Scrolls was still 2 or more years away, Asha Sharma would not have said the Elder Scrolls with those 2. She is talking about a game that is imminent. Imminent. And they are building the Elder Scrolls. They built the engine specifically for Creations, to have it a service game, almost a live service game. I mean, it's changing. And think about why it's changing. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. When did Bethesda used to make their money? They made their money when they released a game or released a DLC. Now they're getting money every month. And I'm not talking about Fallout 76. I'm talking about from Fallout 4, from Skyrim, from Starfield. And they want to double down on that. Because number one, that's where gaming's going. But Bethesda has been one of the ones leading the way for making a single-player game. That's another strange thing to think about. Sea of Thieves is a pure live service game. Minecraft, well, a little bit different. But the Elder Scrolls is single-player. Why would she name the Elder Scrolls with those other two games? Again, number one, if it's not imminent, she wouldn't have said it. And number two, it's all about that, how Microsoft can make the most money. All right, let me catch up a little bit with the chat. Bo TV says, I think if they release a trailer, it will rally Microsoft stocks. This is something Todd should be thinking about. Just look at the stock of Take-Two when GTA 6 releases something. Yes, absolutely. River Allen says, do you think we will see a trailer at the showcase? Love your content, by the way. Thank you so much. I appreciate the kind words. If I had to bet, and I'm not a betting person, I would say no. Just because I know how much Todd wants to wait. Todd literally wants the least amount of time between announcing and releasing a game. And even though I think they could rush and have Elder Scrolls 6 done this year, I really think it's that close. But because of GTA 6 coming out this year, because the new Xbox is coming out next year, it just makes so much more sense to hold. And by the way, sometimes they're not crunching to get games done. Sometimes they hold games to release it at the right time. And I think that's exactly what they're going to do with the Elder Scrolls, which is actually a good thing for us. It gives them time to polish it more and to work on it more. So if it was up to Microsoft, I think, yes, we would see a trailer, back to your question. But if Todd has his say, I think he's going to wait. What I believe the timetable of the Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be is this. I believe it will be announced next March at the showcase. And we get a cinematic trailer. And then in the June showcase, like this one is Gears of War E-Day. You know, that's the big focus on this one. I believe next year it will be Elder Scrolls will have their a whole segment. And then it will be released next fall. Probably 2030. Talking about Fallout 5. Let's see. When do you think Fallout 5 will drop? This is jumping ahead, but I'm going to give it to you real quick. I talked about it on the Bethesda Brothers podcast. I really believe it will be sooner than 2030 because you look at how much they did on the Elder Scrolls 6 while Starfield was in development. Again, I just laid out to you a year before Starfield came out that Todd Howard said they already had the first 3 hours of the game done. And I mean, they were working a lot on the Elder Scrolls. However, right now is the first time in history that I know of that Bethesda Game Studios has ever had two games in full development at the same time. I believe that Fallout 5 is in absolute full development right now, and I believe it has been for almost a year. Last summer was when it started, July, I believe. So we're about a month away from it being a year in development. So with that said, what does Todd Howard say? is their game period of getting a game out. He says 3 to 4 years. So you can just add it up. We're already a year in, so we either have 2 or 3 more years to wait for Fallout 5. So yes, I do believe we could get it by 2028 or I'm guessing 2029. I just always give them the benefit of the doubt. But yes, I believe we could have Fallout 5 by 2028 or 2029. Probably not 2028 in my head, because if we get the Elder Scrolls next year, they normally like at least a year to do other content. But again, this goes back to what we were talking about. DLCs from Bethesda from now on are never going to be the same. You can literally look back. I mean, you can go back, maybe not to Morrowind. Let's go a little bit newer than Morrowind. Let's start the Fallout 3 era. They did the exact same from Fallout 3 all the way until Starfield with DLCs. They would do the game, and then the very next year they would put out all of the DLCs, and then they were done. They would move away from that game. But guys, things have changed. Things have changed mightily. Again, we got 6 DLC with Fallout 4 in 1 year. We got them in 2016, and the game was out in 2015. But look, we are already 3 years away from Starfield, and we just got a DLC. That's the longest Bethesda's ever waited to put out another DLC. And they say they're not done with Starfield. So this is brand new territory. So again, what I want to know, what y'all think, is this good for Bethesda and Bethesda fans? Because it's definitely going to change how they do things. They're going to be working on games longer. I don't think they're going to put out any more DLC. They're going to spread them out a little bit more, which maybe will give them a little bit more time to work on. But they're going to rely on creations. And again, what they're doing with creations is bigger than anybody realizes. Not only is Bethesda hiring companies to do ideas that they have, they're also funding creators. You can apply, anyone, you can. If you're a modder, you can actually apply to Bethesda Game Studios for them to give you money to fund your project. Now, I'm sure you have to have a pretty good proposal, but say you have an idea for a DLC mod and you need help with it. You can literally apply to Bethesda Game Studios now, and they will fund your project if they believe in it. Isn't that crazy? So they are not just doubling down, but tripling down on creations. Creations is going to be a huge thing going forward. Okay, let's talk about some of the things that's changed with the Creation 3 engine real quick. And most of it, by the way, is to support, I don't know why I didn't see this at the very beginning, but it's to support the creations. Again, I said earlier, normally Bethesda would release a creation kit. I don't know how many of you guys are modders. Let me know in the chat if you've ever modded a Bethesda game before. But if you are a modder or know a modder, you know that the creation kit, which is the thing that you use to mod Bethesda games, normally was released months after the game was released. Well, guess what? Because of Creation 3 engine, when the Elder Scrolls 6 comes out, it will have the creation kit integrated into it. It's going to instantly come out. So modders can start working on day one for DLC size creations. That's crazy. There's also a lot of technical jargon. I looked up all this. I don't know how interested y'all are in this, but they've streamlined testing of the creations that come in. So they've streamlined it now that they can check them, make sure there's not going to crash the system or anything like that. They've made the engine much more stable. Do y'all remember what happened? It's interesting. What happened when they applied the creations to Fallout 4? Do y'all remember the whole anniversary edition? You literally could not open up the creation section. You'd open it up and it would just crash. Well, also remember they said that the Creation 3 upgrades are actually being tested right now in Starfield. Well, what do you mean? I don't see anything different with the engine. It's the creations. It's the creations. Dane, thank you so much for the super chat, buddy. I appreciate that so much. Y'all are so sweet. Can't wait for the Fallout 3 remastered streams. That's awesome. We're going to talk about Fallout 3 remastered in just a minute. I promise. We're headed to that. We're going to talk about the multiple Fallout projects in just a minute. Guitar and Gaming said to all the hardcore Elder Scrolls fans, Crimson Desert has a huge exploration element that satisfies just like the Elder Scrolls. I can second that. I am playing a lot of Crimson Desert right now, and I really love it. Don't have the total feel of a Bethesda game, but the exploration is wonderful, wonderful. It is absolutely wonderful. Also integrated into the Creation 3 engine is cross-platform asset, which means it's going to help these creations work on PC, Xbox, iCloud, and hopefully PlayStation 5. But remember, we are Xbox. You can play anywhere, even though they took that slogan away. They are wanting multiple platforms to be able to play this stuff. Let's see. Day one creator integration. Microsoft software engineers are helping construct a universal software development kit embedded into the Creation 3 engine. This lets the engine satisfy, process, render, and execute complex community mods on all platforms. So, interesting. So we'll talk more about the Elder Scrolls in just a little bit, but let's move to the multiple Fallout projects. This is another thing that is absolutely important for Bethesda right now because of the Fallout TV show. Sometimes when we get away from the TV show for a little bit, we forget how important the Fallout franchise is, but the Fallout franchise is huge right now. And according to how the Elder Scrolls 6 does, Fallout is the king series right now for Bethesda. Jess Gordon said just recently that Bethesda is stretched paper thin because they are trying to get Fallouts, multiple Fallouts, into people's hands before the show ends. Now, I don't know how many years the TV show has left. Crash Buckler says the Skyrim Creations menu works the best out of all three. Isn't it interesting? In fact, I just bought a Skyrim creation the other day from KingCat. It's unreal. That is a 16-year-old game that they are putting out creations for. Again, we're living in a new age, and this is just going to get bigger and bigger. If you think it's only just begun, guys. And that's what I would really like to know from y'all. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? Is this going to make Bethesda too reliant on creations? Is it going to make Bethesda, this is the cynic in me, is it actually going to make Bethesda not put out content as often, including games? Because, again, the more they wait, the more they make on creations. I don't know. Let's see. They said 5 to 6 seasons of Fallout. Yes, at least, I believe. Of course, it's always on how the latest season does. But yes, I expect 5 to 6 seasons, certainly. Release Fallout 5 alongside Season 5. Makes perfect sense, but does it not make sense to release Fallout 3 Remastered along with Season 3? Fallout 3, Season 3. Not only that, we know that Season 3 of the Fallout TV show is actually going to show a lot more of the Enclave. So you're probably going to have Washington, D.C. flashbacks in the TV show. Man, it makes so much sense to release Fallout 3 around the TV show. But yet, everything looks like we're about to get Fallout 3 this summer. So, I don't know. So, let's talk about that, and we'll start right there. Fallout 3 Remastered. I'm not going to go over everything that I talked about this week in the Bethesda Brothers podcast. Those that follow me, y'all have heard this several times now. But it appears, it's looking like we may get Fallout 3 Remastered either at the Xbox Showcase, could be shadow dropped at the Showcase, or sometime after the Showcase, either in July or August. But again, gosh, it makes so much more sense to talk about Fallout 3 Remastered around Season 3. I don't know. Jeremy says, so how big is your house in 76 to fit all your axolotl? I've got multiple of them, Jeremy. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 5 axolotl aquariums, plus I've got them all hung up on hooks as well. So, yeah, I've got a bunch of them boogers in my house. Okay, there's multiple Fallout projects. Now, we've broke this down before, but I want us to think about it a little bit new today because there's been some new information come out. What are the other Fallout projects that Bethesda is working on right now? Remember, Todd has said they are, Jess Gordon says they are, Nate the Hate says they are. There's a lot of people saying there are multiple Fallout projects in development right now. Well, all of them don't have to be from Bethesda Game Studios. I believe that the remasters are going to be coming from someone else, like Virtuous did Oblivion. So Fallout 3 Remastered is definitely one. I believe another one is Fallout New Vegas Remastered. Now, this one became controversial a couple of weeks ago when Chris Avalon said that they cannot remake Fallout New Vegas. However, all of the that's the one thing I don't like about podcasts, even though I have one or two. The thing that's bad about podcasts, most people do not listen for the whole hour. In fact, most podcasts are 3 hours, okay? My podcasts are never 3 hours, but how many people listen to a whole 3 hours? What they normally do is either hear a little section, or probably what they do is they read the headline that comes out, which is based on a little section of the interview. If you go back to the Chris Avalon interview, he never said, or he never left it with, they cannot do a remaster of Fallout New Vegas. Because he went on to say, after he talked about the source codes and all those reasons, he said the only way they could do it is if they do it like they did Oblivion with the Unreal 5 engine upgrade. So you say, well, why did he say it then at all? Well, if they do it the same way they did the Oblivion remaster, and they make the graphics in Unreal 5, if you don't have the source codes to the game, you're not going to be able to change as much internally, like updating the weapon play, which desperately needs to be done in New Vegas. And if it is done in Fallout 3, then of course you're going to have to do it in Fallout New Vegas. So the question is how, if you do a 3-hour podcast, I'd watch that. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. if you upgrade the weapon play in Fallout 3, you've got to at least make them that good in Fallout New Vegas. So that's some of what he's talking about. Okay, there's not much you can do if you don't have the source code. Yes, you can update the graphics. Yes, you can make minor changes the way a modder would make changes, but you can't go in and get to the nuts and bolts of it. So he never said, or he may have said it, but he didn't finish with, you cannot remaster New Vegas. You can. You can absolutely do what they did to Oblivion for New Vegas. And I believe they are, as does Jez Gordon, as does Nate the Hate, as does several people. Jeff Gertzman, there's a lot of people that have said that Fallout New Vegas remaster is a deal, is a real thing. But here's also another thing to think about. Obsidian is connected to Fallout in some way. And we're going to find out years from now how they are connected. Microsoft has had 2 in-person meetings with Obsidian about Fallout. Now, we'll talk about the Fallout spinoff in a minute, and that may be it, okay? But could it be that Obsidian may be remaking Fallout New Vegas? Since they don't have the original source code, since there's not just total freedom to do a remaster, maybe Microsoft has hired Obsidian to remake the game, like from the ground up, remake it from the ground up. And I know what everybody says as soon as you say something about that. Oh, the Obsidian today is not the Obsidian it used to be. Well, the Obsidian that made Avowed and Outer Worlds 2 is not the same Obsidian as it is today. Number one, they've hired back the lead writer from Fallout New Vegas, which is John Gonzalez, who said he would only come back for this project, whatever it was. Tim Kaine has been rehired. Of course, he was one of the original guys with the Fallout series. So my point is, if when you take a studio and look at a game or two, you're looking at a snapshot. Employees come and go. So the Obsidian today is not the same one that made Avowed. You have a bunch more Fallout DNA in there. So could they be doing a New Vegas remake, or are they the ones? Now this is big. Remember that I had been telling y'all a long, long time that there was a Fallout spinoff in the works. Another Fallout New Vegas type game in the works. But Jeff Gertzman came out just a few months ago and said that Fallout spinoff is a real thing. It was being worked on by an Xbox studio, not Bethesda, but he thought that it would not see the light of day because of Todd Howard. And I can see that, and that's basically where I've been going. I've pretty much been taking his word for it. But that Fallout spinoff could still be out there. So what are the multiple Fallout projects? Fallout 3 remastered. Fallout New Vegas, either remastered or remake. I have no doubt that we're going to get one or the other. And then that possible Fallout spinoff. And then in just a minute, we'll talk about Fallout 76, which they are working on harder than they've ever worked on it before. I mean, even if the Fallout spinoff is not part of that, that means Fallout 5 is in development right now. Fallout 3 Remastered's in development right now. Fallout New Vegas probably is not yet, but will be soon. Fallout 76. I mean, you have 4 or 5 Fallout projects right there that we've talked about, even without that spinoff, which is wild to see. Okay, I need to catch up on the chat. I'm sorry. I've not been checking it near as much. Let's see. Fallout 5 is already being worked on. The remasters are a no-go for me because I boycott Unreal 5 and its generic, not real Bethesda game in their custom engine. And somebody agreed with that as well. Fallout New Vegas remaster with the creations menu would be cool. That's, one of the main problems with the remasters is, and I don't know how they solved this. This may be why they're talking about a remake for Fallout New Vegas. One of the biggest problems with Oblivion was no creations, no mods, no paid mods, which again is what Microsoft is doubling down on. It's good to make a one-time sale, but what they want is to make that one-time sale and then to make monthly sales off of that. There are literally companies making millions and billions with a B just on their extra content, guys. That's why I tell y'all gaming is changing. Bethesda is changing right before our eyes. So mods is one of the... I don't know what they do with the mods on the remasters. If they could put creations on the remasters, oh man, boy, you'd watch every game that Bethesda ever did with them. Let's see. King has done a 12-hour stream before. Yes, I did. I did that trying to raise money for my E3 trip. I did it. I remember that, yes. I don't know if I could do that anymore. Mustafarahim? I said it better earlier. Said just remake it instead of remastering. Again, New Vegas very much could do that as well. Probably another mobile game. I hope I live to see some of these. I'm in my late 50s. You will absolutely live to see some of these. I'm in my early 50s, but yeah, I'm right there with you. Elder Scrolls 6 is going to come out this year or next. Fallout 5 is coming out 2028, 2029-ish. I mean, so yeah, there's the next 2 Bethesda games. And I'm hopeful. Again, I haven't seen y'all's opinion on this yet. I'm wondering what this games as a service is going to do to Bethesda in releasing their games. Todd has acknowledged they're not getting out games fast enough. But if they are making hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars on creations for Fallout 5, does it really incentivize you to make Fallout 6? I mean, you see what happened with Grand Theft Auto. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. That's my fear. That's my fear. You are the only Bethesda streamer. I don't know if that's good or bad. What about Juicehead? Can you tell me? I mentioned him earlier in the podcast, but tell me what you want to know about him, and I'll let you know. Just put Queen on for 12 hours. She's got this. Like Psycho. Thank you, Psycho. Fallout mod idea. Khajiit from the Elder Scrolls ends up in Fallout universe, and you have to help them sell skooma. I like it. Hey, tell Bethesda about it. They may fund it. They may say, that's perfect. We're going to fund that for you. Real quick on Fallout 76, I didn't mention I think I've told y'all what I think is coming with Fallout 76. But I don't believe we've seen the biggest updates yet for Fallout 76 this year. They should be coming this fall and this winter. The winter is always normally the biggest one. Now, do remember what John Rush has said. They are just thickening the map right now. There's not going to be a map expansion or anything like that. And again, I believe there are 3 things that are very, very, very possible and probably coming. That is a new raid. I believe the next gen upgrade for Fallout 76, and then finishing the story of the Rust King, adding to Burning Springs, which in my opinion, was lacking big time. They need much more content. But right now, there are 3 studios working on Fallout 76. So don't think they're slowing down on Fallout 76 at all. And by the way, since we're talking about Fallout 76, I normally start the show with this. Let me just give this to you quickly, and then we'll go wherever you guys want. Right now, going on in Fallout 76 are the treasure hunters and double mutations. That goes through Monday, the 18th, and then Tuesday. So this coming Tuesday, the Big Bloom event comes back. That is the annual event with the big bumblebee out in the flower patch. I like that. That's a good, cool event, and it begins Tuesday the 19th and goes through June the 2nd. Also, right now there have been some changes to the PTS, the public test server, and they are really improving infestations big time. I went on there and played it the other day. This is going to be the June update. Infestations is where they change the enemies in a certain location and they make them much tougher. And when I say much tougher, y'all better get ready for a fight. Oh my word. I'll just give you an example. I went to Grafton, and all the super mutants were gone in Grafton, and they were changed to these strange mole miners. And the mole miners were like 4 times. I'm talking about the regular mole miners. They were like 4 times harder than a super mutant to kill. And then there was a big mole miner, and he was somebody that you're going to have to need a lot of help. So, I mean, they have promoted this as an in-game type deal, and it really is. It's tough. It's tough. But you can get 4-star legendaries and stuff like that from them as well. So, and they've also now added a circle around where the infestation is, a pretty big circle. Like if you remember early on in the game, that big circle that was around Grafton, y'all remember that? You had to find the mayor's office. Well, that's kind of the way it is now with the infestation. So instead of just, because before it was almost impossible to find an infestation, you had to jump across the whole map. But now there's a pretty big circle where people will know where to start looking for it. And then once somebody finds it, it identifies the place and other people can join you if you want to. So that's what they're doing with infestations right now. It's on the public test server if you want to see that. And I would love to hear what y'all think may be coming in Fallout 76 later on this year. Let's see. I think Bethesda will keep making games, but faster and different types of games. I tend to as well, Jeremy. But again, I'm going to say it. I don't think they're going to be putting out as many DLCs. I don't think we'll ever see 6 DLCs again with a game. However, you're going to be getting creations that are made at least in part by Bethesda. So in a way, we're going to be getting more DLCs per game. You look at Fallout 4. When Fallout 4 came out with the Anniversary Edition, it included a couple of DLCs that were sponsored by Bethesda, but were made by another creator. There was the Hunt for the Deathclaw. There's also the Bounties Hunter quest line. There's several that came out that were free, and then there were several more that came out that were paid creations. But all of them, Bethesda was at least partially helped on. So think about that. A game that is 11 years old, Bethesda is still working on DLC. Isn't that crazy? So when you look forward to the Elder Scrolls, will we get 3 and 4 official DLCs from Bethesda Game Studios? I don't think so. But we will get 10 to 15 that Bethesda's been involved with. Another thing that you've noticed has changed, Bethesda is actually now promoting creations on their social media. If you go to X, if you go to Facebook, if you go to Blue Sky, weekly you will see Bethesda promoting creations. These are the creations that Bethesda has been involved with some way. They've either hired someone out to do it, they've either funded it or helped them with it, whatever it is. These are normally the creations that Bethesda is promoting. So if you don't know, well, how would I know, if it's a Bethesda helped DLC? Just watch their social media. They're going to put it out. Starfield, this is why I bought The Veil and Beyond the Veil, because Bethesda promoted it. And I went over and looked at it and I thought, well, that looks interesting. And this was, again, one of those projects. It was not made by Bethesda, but Bethesda was involved with it. So it's a crazy time we're entering with Bethesda games. It's going to be totally different, and time will tell what it does to the games, what it does to their timetables. I just know it's going to be different. You can't look back at Fallout 4 and Starfield and say, okay, this is how they did it then, because it's totally different now. Okay, I'm going to really look at the chat now for the... I've been pontificating for an hour. And now we can pretty much talk about whatever y'all want to. I do have some more news here I can go over if the chat gets weak. But y'all please get your questions and comments out, and I will make sure and read them now. If I've missed yours before, please forgive me, and go ahead and put them back in the chat, and we'll get to them. Whatever y'all want to talk about, if it's something we've talked about so far, or if it's something I haven't talked about yet, please let's talk about it in the remaining 20 or so minutes we have left in the podcast. What about Skyrim? 15th anniversary in November this year. Do you think they give us increase of mod storage on Xbox? Do I believe that's coming? Yes, 100% I believe it's coming. I would love to say yes, it's coming this fall. But Bethesda has a really big problem right now. And I hope y'all know I am a fan of Bethesda. I mean, gosh, I'm called the KingFanMan. But I will be critical when I need to be critical. And I'm going to tell y'all where Bethesda has been dropping the ball. And it's all because they're stretched so thin. But you look what they did with Fallout 4 around the anniversary release. That was over a year worth of... It was horrible. They broke the game. They left it broke for a year and then re-broke it again when they released the anniversary edition. They should have never released that anniversary edition when they did. And the way they did. It was awful. So I say that to set up this. We are still waiting on the Fallout 4 mod increase. When did they promise that? They promised that last year. They promised that last fall. And it got delayed until, I think it was November they promised it. In October, they promised it in November. No, they delayed it to December. Then they delayed it to January. And here we are in May and still don't have it. You say, well, why? Why can't a big company like Bethesda get this done? I'm telling y'all guys, Bethesda is so stretched thin right now. They are working on 2 games at once, being the Elder Scrolls 6 and Fallout 5. Full development teams right there. And the Elder Scrolls 6 is getting really close to they have to be, they're down to gluing it together and getting it ready. I mean, it's that close. But on top of that, they're still have a team working on Starfield. They're putting out, we've heard they're not done with Starfield. We know that that's the main thing Tim Lamb's doing. But that's not all. Again, they are having to support games like Skyrim, Fallout 4. They only have so many employees to be able to do this. And one of the things they have done terribly is to manage these things. Again, if you don't have enough people to do it, don't release it broken. Don't release an update broken. Please, wait. So, will we get a Skyrim mod storage increase? Absolutely, 100% it will come. Because again, this is coming from the very top of Microsoft. This is what they want with every Bethesda game going forward, but they also want it with the games that are being played right now. They want creations. They want big creations. They want $10 creations. They want DLC size creations because it makes them money. When should we get it? When Bethesda gets enough people. Sadly, Microsoft likes laying off people. So, games as a service platform could be good depending on the quality of the mods. Yes, and that's why you need to watch. I wished Bethesda would make a way. This is another thing they need. They need to be able to tell people, and I know they have the certified creators. And if you're looking for a DLC creation, look in the certified creators, okay? I know they have that, but that still doesn't mean that the DLC itself is going to be good. Bethesda needs a way to tell us that, hey, we had a hand in this. We funded this one. We hired this one out. It was our idea. Something. They need to tell us that they are a part of it. That's my opinion anyway. Because some of these creations are so good, and your fans are literally missing out on essentially a Bethesda DLC with some of these. I just played The Veil on Starfield. Great creation. I'm about to play Beyond the Veil. I believe I'm going to do it as a members only, but if you are a member of the King's Crew, be looking for that. I was going to try to do it this week, but I didn't. I've been batching it, so I've been busy mowing the yard and doing stuff, because my wife's not here to mow the yard. Let's see. I'd be really surprised if they didn't give us at least 3 self-made DLCs. That's honestly free money for them if people like the game. Yeah. The only thing that I would argue with you on that is, look at Starfield. Look at Starfield. We are 3 years, almost 3 years to the month after the launch of Starfield, and we've only gotten 1.5 DLCs. Terran Armada, would you say it was as big as Automatron in Fallout 4? I'm putting it about that size, but it was not a Far Harbor size for sure. It was not a Nuka World for sure. Isn't that wild? A 3-year-old Bethesda game, and we've only gotten 1 full DLC. It's crazy. So yes, I mean, I agree with what you're saying. I'm just looking at what they're doing because they've been knowing they've had this plan all along, and I'm telling you, they're going to double down on it with the Elder Scrolls. I hope they put out more DLC. I'm still waiting for another Bethesda DLC with Starfield. I want more. So we'll see. I hope so. It would be nice if they give us some Creation Club content for Skyrim that doesn't disable achievements. Amen. What non-Bethesda games you think we get at the summer showcase? Great question. I think there's going to be some surprises this year. Again, this is the 25th anniversary of Xbox. It's the 40th anniversary of Bethesda. Gosh, what could they surprise us with? That's tough on me since I don't cover all of gaming. I don't look into it near as much as I should because I'm so Bethesda focused. I would love to see Clockwork Revolution. Man, that would be great if that came out. What else might come out this year? What might they surprise us with? Of course, I mean, we're going to hear more about Fable. Hopefully it's not delayed until 2027. I'm really thinking next year is the big year for Xbox, and it's a shame their 25th anniversary fell on the same year that GTA 6 came out, because next year is going to be the launch of the new platform. It's going to be Elder Scrolls 6's year. I mean, it's going to be a big year for Xbox. And I know I'm not answering your question. I would love to see Clockwork Revolution. I know there's been some other games I've had in my mind. I can't think of them right now. Please forgive me. They might be done with Starfield. I thought they were going to be done with Starfield. I'm just going off of what they've said. They have said they're not done with Starfield. Now, could that have changed since that was literally right before the PlayStation 5 port was released? And I don't know if y'all know, but I don't know how many they've sold now, but they only sold around 200,000 copies of Starfield on PlayStation 5. That was the first couple of weeks. That's not good. For a Bethesda game, that's horrible. That is horrible. To put it in perspective, did y'all know The Outer Worlds 2 outperformed Starfield on PlayStation 5? And The Outer Worlds 2 is considered a failure by Obsidian. Now, as much as I like Starfield, as much as I defend it, what can you say with that? That's pretty tough. So could that make them rethink if they're through with Starfield or not? Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with you that absolutely could change things. How much longer do you think they support Skyrim after the Elder Scrolls 6? I believe, as far as Bethesda goes, they are going to continue to keep the game and the storefront running. But to that extent, their support for Skyrim will be over. I think the funding for... And of course, you just have to watch. There's a lot of things that can go into that. If Elder Scrolls 6 is a dud, I think it's gonna be a financial success, no doubt. But if it has mixed reviews and if it don't hold player count and some of the things that Starfield has run into, and people go back to playing Skyrim again, then of course they're going to support it. But in my opinion, what I believe they're going to do, they're going to get that mod storage for Skyrim, which will make big DLCs come out for it up until the Elder Scrolls 6 comes out, which I still think is going to be next year. And then, like I say, they will continue to keep the storefront running for Skyrim, but they will put their money into the Elder Scrolls 6, Starfield, and even Fallout 4. They're going to keep promoting Fallout 4 until Fallout 5 comes out. But guys, that game is 11 years old. We need a new Fallout game. Desperately. Let's see. King, is Josh Sawyer on Avowed 2 or Fallout 5? His talent is being wasted not putting him on Fallout. I agree 1,000%. He is going to be on Avowed 2. I haven't mentioned this lately, but I'll mention this again. I believe it is a possibility, at least, that whatever studio was making that spinoff, remember the whole Jeff Gertzman saying that there was a Fallout spinoff in the work, but Todd Howard wanted it back in-house. There is a possibility, especially if that is Obsidian, of a team from Obsidian working with Bethesda on Fallout 5. That is absolutely possible, having a collab. So wouldn't it be great to have Josh Sawyer, Tim Kaine, John Gonzalez, all these people working on Fallout 5 along with the best of Bethesda? That would be absolutely wonderful. Dane says, hit that like button. Yay. When you say more DLC, like what? Meaning story, quest, and I'm not just talking about long and quests. I'm also talking about it is like a Bethesda DLC. They're like when you look at a King Gath creation, you look at Watchtower, you look at Sim Settlements, you look at the ones that he put out for Skyrim. And I say he, it's a group. Bard's College. Every one of his look like Bethesda themselves could have released it. And that's what I mean by a DLC like. Yes, please hit that like button. Thank you, Dane. I just wasn't interested in Starfield, which stinks. Yeah, hey, it didn't resonate with a lot of people for whatever reason. It just didn't. Give Sean Murray of Hello Games the keys to Starfield. Give the Metro Exodus team the keys to Fallout. Boy, that would be a dark, definitely be a dark deal, wouldn't it? Do you think they will ever make a mainline Elder Scrolls game with a fixed or pre-made character like The Witcher? Or in another direction, would we ever get an 11th playable species? Yes, I do believe we'll get more species in the future. Just me personally, I don't want a fixed character with the Elder Scrolls. We got one, the closest you can get to one with Fallout 4. But now Fallout 4 has always been a little bit different than the Elder Scrolls. The Elder Scrolls has always been you're just nobody and you wake up in a jail. That's what a true RPG is supposed to be like. Now I understand The Witcher 3 is a great game, but it's just a different way to do a game. As far as I'm concerned, I don't think they need to go away from the be your own person thing, because I didn't like having a voice in Fallout 4. But now I'm an old school Bethesda guy. I'm an old school RPG guy. I like it when I get to create my character the way I want to create my character. Okay, King, if you were a betting man, would you bet on the Elder Scrolls 6 being received overwhelmingly positively on reviews? Oh, man, I've been waiting for this question. No, I do not. No, I do not. Now, I have a lot of reasons for that, but Bethesda, there are people right now that are making their living on hating Bethesda. We are now in this influencer. I hate this. Y'all, please don't call me an influencer. But we are in this influencer time where, and I'm not saying they don't tell the truth, but when you come to my channel, you know you're going to get a positive message about Bethesda. I hope you know I'm going to tell you the truth, but I'm going to give you the positive slant to it. I always try to look on the positive. However, there are creators out there that literally are making their living on hating on Bethesda. It has become socially acceptable to hate on Bethesda. Bethesda is going to have a near perfect game. And by the way, Skyrim is not a near perfect game. Okay, it's a great game, but it's not near perfect. Y'all know this. They are going to pick it to pieces. Just know that. There is going to be a Hate Bethesda crew out there singing the day it comes out. For it to go back to get Skyrim-like praise, it's going to have to be much better than Skyrim, sadly. So, we need Fallout 76 new raid, please. It's coming. It is coming this year. It's coming this year. I believe it 1,000%. I don't want a fixed character either. I like the replayability of having many. Jez Gordon hinted that Bethesda didn't want Fallout to have a double A game. Jez Gordon hinted that Bethesda didn't want Fallout to have a double A game. Nate, let me know what you're talking about there. I don't remember that exact quote from Jez. I pretty much watch him religiously because I love. He does have some very good inside information, unlike what some people think. So let clarify just for a minute before I comment on that. Plenty who've decided that it's a bad game already. Yep, 100%. Sadly, 100%. I think Todd is going to surprise us big time. I think The Elder Scrolls is going to be a very good game. Now, will it be up to the standards to make every hater out there not hate on it? Guys, when you're making money to hate, what are you going to do? You know, I'm glad that I built my channel not on hating something. Wouldn't that be terrible to have a channel built on hating something? Anyway, oh well. Well, we have about come to the end of this show. We've got about 5 more minutes, I guess, if y'all want them. If not, we'll say goodbye. But this is interesting. Did y'all know that Fallout 3 was banned in like 7 countries? Did y'all know that? That was crazy. When I don't remember that happening back then. But Japan, Germany, India, Australia. I mean, there were several that had banned Fallout 3. Some of them I understood, some of them not so much. That's the reason we don't have morphine anymore in Fallout, is because of Australia. If you're from Australia, forgive me. Australians are sensitive. They had to change it to MedX for them to release Fallout 3. And I just thought that was interesting. Let's see, what else do I got? Man, I got so much that we didn't cover. Look at these pages and pages and pages worth of stuff. By the way, Indiana Jones is out on the Switch 2 right now, and all the reviews for that is great. And I have heard they are still working on Starfield. It's not promised yet, but if you have a Switch 2 and you're wondering, then they're still working on it from everything that I have heard. But yes, all the reviews for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle have been great. Somebody was asking about the Xbox Showcase. Again, if y'all want to look for some surprises from Bethesda, you can look for Marvel Blade. We might get a new trailer for that. You can look for the new Quake. You can look for a DLC from... now, these are all just possibilities. DLC from Doom, The Dark Ages. And I would love to see something from Wolfenstein 3, but I don't think it's time for that. But I really do think we might be surprised with the Quake or Marvel Blade. Those two could really be cool. I struggle to even play Starfield after downloading it. Is it... what's the problems with Starfield? Is it not running it right or something? By the way, the new update for Starfield is out, and the patch notes are out. I know some PlayStation 5 owners have had a lot of trouble running Starfield, and I hate that. I have never other than the end of Terran Armada, and those that watch my live stream know what happened there, but, it feels empty. Okay. It's a totally different game. I'll tell you this, in playing Starfield, I really enjoyed it at first. And then, probably like 30 hours into it, I got that feeling. I'm like, the planets are empty. I'm running into the same stuff. Then I figured out how to explore in Starfield. It's not the same type exploration. So it's a totally different type of game than Bethesda has made. But once I figured that out, well, now I have around 1,000 hours in it. I mean, I got super happy with it again. But I had to get to where I understood how to explore in the game. I did. TV Casualty said, I had a few crashes, but that was the extent of the performance problem. Crash Buckler says, I have a weird bug in Starfield where the Arbiter quests don't show up in my quest log, so I cannot complete it. Oh, man. Nate Dogg says, okay, back to the Jez Gordon thing. He was talking about the Obsidian Fallout, and he asked, do we really want a double A Fallout? He was happy talking about Bethesda greenlighting Fallout 5. Tim Dog also told me that Obsidian was being, and then it cut off. Talking about, because of, do I believe Obsidian today could do what they did with New Vegas? I still believe they could. You have to understand, New Vegas is what it is because Bethesda gave them their engine, gave them all of the pre-built assets of Fallout 3, literally gave them everything. So a lot of the work was already done. And I don't want to take anything. I'm not taking anything away from Obsidian, okay? But it was the perfect marriage, because you had a Bethesda type world, even though Fallout New Vegas world is much, much smaller and linear, by the way, than a Bethesda world. Y'all do know that, right? I mean, it's not really, but they make you go a linear way because they put 1,000 death claws in your way. But anyway, but the marriage is great because you have that Bethesda type world, you have the Bethesda engine, Bethesda type assets, and then you have their writing, their choice, their consequence, and all that. So it was the perfect marriage. Do I think they could do that again? Now I do, because they've added Tim Kaine, they've added John Gonzalez. But yes, it would not be as big as Fallout 4. It's not going to be as big as Fallout 5. It's going to be a smaller type game, just like New Vegas was a smaller type game. If y'all remember when New Vegas came out, people called it a DLC of Fallout 3 because it's a smaller game. It came out just a year later. It's just a DLC for Fallout 3. That's just what they said. Tim also told me that Obsidian was being restructured because Xbox saw them as redundant. They might become BGS West Coast. Yes, they absolutely are 100% being restructured. There's no doubt about that. I have heard that same thing as well. They considered the Outer Worlds and Avowed, both games, they considered failures. So sadly, we're not going to get another Outer Worlds anytime soon. Yeah, and probably they are the one that was working on a Fallout and it got canceled. So, sadly. Let me finish up the chat here and then we'll get out of here. For Starfield, my taste, Bethesda dropped the ball on stuff they are usually good at. Story, NPCs, lore, Constellation are obnoxious, but honestly, I did like the ship editor, surveying, combat, exploration. I will say this. I agree with a lot of what you were saying. Number one, the NPCs, and I'm not talking about your companions right now, okay? I'm just talking about the NPCs in general in the game are horrible. I hate the NPCs that don't do anything, that are there just as world filler. That's horrible. Don't do that. And I know some of y'all disagree with me on that. That's okay, but I want to be able to talk to the NPCs. I even believe that they failed in the cities, believe it or not. There is so much more to do in my mind in Whiterun than there is in New Atlantis. New Atlantis, you just don't have that much. You can go get a coffee for a girl. Come on. Who really put that quest in there? That was probably a meal. Make you go run and get a coffee for a girl. Come on. Really? That makes me mad every time that comes up. Or every time I see that girl, it makes me mad. Like, who put that? Talk about a fetch quest. They probably did it as a joke, because of fetch quest. But anyway, I have 890 hours in Starfield, so I do like it, but I like the new features more than the RPG elements. All good. Again, I have a lot of hours in it. I had to learn to get by some of its shortcomings or some of its differences. I'm not even going to say shortcomings, but I would agree with what was just said. There's some places they just drop the ball that they normally don't. But what we're not giving them credit for, Starfield has more man-made content, human-made content, than any other Bethesda game. But it's spread out over 1,000 planets. Maybe that's why it doesn't seem like the cities have enough to do, or this place has enough to do. It's spread out so dadgum wide. There are more voice actor lines in Starfield than there are in Fallout 4. And Fallout 4 had 2 protagonists that did voice acting lines, which is crazy. So Starfield has a lot of content that you just don't run into, or it's hard to run into. It's hard to find. I give Starfield a 7 out of 10, worth playing and replaying, in my opinion. Me too. That would be about what I'd say. New Vegas was an empty desert. Fallout 3 had a whole city. Fallout 76 is the bread and butter, but needs more map, more story. I agree, 100%. I love both Fallout 3 and New Vegas. I do too. What we really want is the mechanics of New Vegas, not its world. Yes, I agree 100%. I really hope we don't get that kind of coffee fetching quest anymore. I agree 100%. And Ed, finally, he says, we want a GTA-sized Fallout City to explore with some of the Sims 4 mechanics. Let's see. I'm sorry. My eyes are going. Born gotta eat, gotta sleep, gotta poop, gotta shower, gotta work. With New Vegas rep, karma system, Destiny 2 shooting. Yeah, that's all we're asking for. I agree, Ed. That's exactly what we're asking for. Thank y'all so much for spending a little bit of your Saturday today right here in the King's Corner. I appreciate you so very much. I'm about to take you out. Hold on. Sit. My dog's getting after me now because she's wanting out. But thank you especially for the Super Chats today. Y'all do not know how much those means. Thank you for all the support y'all give me. Y'all have a great rest of your weekend. God bless you. Bye, everybody.